Farm Radio Show with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly cloudy and somewhat snowy good morning to you. Jonathan Dent filling in for Terry on this Tuesday morning. Terry is out today and possibly tomorrow. We do expect to have him back on Thursday. He's skipping out on this first round of snow here, but he'll be back to give you the updates when it comes to what's going on Friday night into Saturday for sure. I'm joined by Matthew Lester here at Radio Center. Hope you're having a good day wherever you might be. You may have seen a few flurries around this morning, and as I look out the window here at Radio Center, I'm still seeing some snowflakes falling, as well as a bit of fog and mist earlier on. Just a little bit of a dusting, the big one coming tomorrow in the afternoon. For the next 24 hours or so, we are expecting somewhat similar weather to what we have had yesterday, maybe a little more stable on the temperature side of things, which was quite a climb. Well, yesterday, up to 26 degrees, which was up from the low of 0 the night before. Last night didn't get quite that cold. 12 degrees was our low just before midnight, and we got some of those clouds into the area. This morning, as I said, a couple snowflakes here and there, that fog and mist in the immediate Great Lakes Bay region, but that is mostly clearing off. Right now, Matthew, what are we looking at in terms of weather?
Currently, over at the airport, there's light snow at 20 degrees. Over in Midland, it's cloudy at 19. Here at Radio Center, we have some flurries at 20 degrees. We have north winds at 7 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 30.34, and it's rising.
Yeah, that north wind is going to be something that we're keeping an eye on over the next 24 to 48 hours. Projected high for today, 24 degrees, very light winds out of the north. It will feel colder, though, as we don't see much of the sun for, well, quite a while, actually. Down to 10 degrees tonight. That cloud cover slowly building up as we get into tomorrow morning. Now, when it comes to the snow, we're expecting it early afternoon tomorrow. Winds shifting to be a little bit more northeasterly in the late morning, early afternoon, coming right in off Saginaw Bay. Those will build as we get into the afternoon. Right now, we've got a winter storm watch that goes into effect at 1 p.m. tomorrow. That lasts until 7 o'clock Thursday morning. And we're looking at the snow to begin between 1 and 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. And that's when we're looking at accumulations between 6 and 8 inches. Now, I have to say, I originally had 5 to 7 inches projected, but I talked with Terry this morning, and he set me right there. Some forecasters saying even up to 10 inches here in the immediate Great Lakes Bay region, as we're kind of in the center of it this go-round. Lower totals expected to our north and our south, but we add to those east winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour, and things are going to be kind of nasty, especially if you're traveling Wednesday evening and on into Thursday morning. Now, Wednesday night, during that snowfall, we're looking at a low of 20 degrees. Thursday, once that clears off, we get up to 26 degrees for a high, and the winds shift once again to be more northerly and then on to the northwest. That removes a little bit of the cloud cover as we enter into Thursday night, dipping down to 7 degrees for a low. And with that wind, it'll feel as cold as 5 below 0 getting on into Friday morning. So definitely pretty chilly as you're leaving the house on Friday. We do warm up Friday, a high of 24 degrees, some more clouds moving in. Then on Friday night, more snowfall starting out light, but we do get the heavier stuff coming in after midnight, continuing all through the day on Saturday. Now, it is going to be warmer on Saturday, a high right around that freezing mark, close to 32. Then on Sunday, snow should finish petering out with temperatures in the low 20s. And much like what we saw or are expecting to see Thursday evening, temperatures drop to around 0 Sunday night. And those wind chills will be below that as the clouds thin out, eventually return to start out the next week with highs in the mid-teens. That feels pretty far away right now as we're looking at a couple systems moving through this week. Once again, The main focus over our next 48 hours begins early tomorrow afternoon, probably around 2 o'clock. That continues on into Thursday morning. Winter storm watch lasts from 1 p.m. to 7 a.m. Accumulations right now estimated between 6 and 8 inches. Room for a little more here in the immediate Great Lakes Bay region, and some stronger winds coming from the east and the northeast. So those are the main highlights as we move on into tomorrow. Of course, this is Michigan, so keep your eye on the weather forecast as we move on in. Looking a little bit further down the road, our long-range outlook takes us through February 24th, well below average on the temperatures, and we are looking at pretty normal precipitation values. Our normal high for this date, February 11th, sits at 31 degrees, our average low, 16. Our record high, set in 1999, it was 66 degrees on February the 11th. In 1917, our record low was set -15. No danger either way of breaking a record there. Sun will set this evening at 6:02 p.m., rise tomorrow morning at 7:38. We'll have a little bit more on that weather forecast as we move on through this morning's broadcast, but we're going to take a look at what the markets are doing. Who do we got to talk to today?
Up next, we have Melinda Sweeney from the Andersons, and we also have Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
Looking forward to that. But first, the weather report today brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant today.
For our first look at the markets here, we're going to head over to the Andersons, and that's where we find Melinda Sweeney on this Tuesday morning. Melinda, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're doing all right. How are you?
Good. We have corn up 4 today, beans up 5, and wheat up 6. We have a USDA report coming out at noon here this morning, which typically the February report does not make much noise, but we could see U.S. corn stocks fall slightly despite an estimated increase to export demand. World ending stocks are expected to remain unchanged. Corn is trading higher today for another reduction in the ending stocks, but March futures have been unable to break above the $5 mark, with the high last week at $4.98. Brazilian second crop corn planting is at 23.5% planted this week to start the week versus 42% last year. Their 5-year average is 36%, so they're still slightly behind there. In the soybean market ahead of the report, March futures have been hovering near this level for about the past month. Soybean meal is trading higher this morning, while soybean oil is lower despite crude oil. In Mato Grosso, they are 25.58% harvested to start the week versus 51.5 51.5% last year, and their 5-year average on harvested at this time of the year is about 40%. Prices in their country have been firm as strong export demand has kept the market supply limited there. We're expecting to see soybean stocks fall slightly today, but also a potential increase in export demand, with global ending stocks are estimated to remain unchanged or slightly lower.
You mentioned where... sorry.
Oh,
Continue.
go ahead.
You mentioned looking at a reduction on soybeans or a decrease on soybeans. What's driving that?
In ending stocks,
Okay.
Exports.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah. And then in the wheat market, for today's WASD estimated is to see the U.S. ending stocks relatively unchanged, along with world ending stocks are not expected to hold many surprises for wheat. cash corn today we have at $4.50, June $4.80, October, November $4.10. Beans for February delivery at $10.10, new crop 25 at $9.95, new crop red wheat at $5.45, and new crop white at $5.85.
All right, Melinda, thank you very much. We'll talk to you again on Thursday, I believe.
Okay, sounds great.
Fantastic. Melinda Sweeney with the Andersons. Market report today brought to you by Weiss Equipment in Frankenmuth. If you ever wondered how the Farmall got its name, well, here's just a short list of some of the jobs the Case IH Farmall can do. Baling, hauling, loading, cultivating, hitching, digging, emergency tow might be useful nowadays, hoisting, leading parades, excavating, fertilizing, mowing, cleaning barn. I think you get the idea. And Case IH Farmalls range from 35 to 140 horsepower. And Weiss Equipment knows that getting the job done starts with choosing the right Farmall. You'll find the right fit for your operation, large or small, from the Value Pack Compact Farmall A Series to the Deluxe Compact Farmall C and C Series with cabs. So whatever you're doing, Can Do comes in red, and it's Farmall tractors available at Weiss Equipment in Frankenmuth, where they're doing it right longer. Over to Doug Klein at Oppenheimer we go, a little bit more in-depth when it comes to the markets. Doug, good morning.
Good morning.
How are we doing today?
Well, it's not bad. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Markets are moving.
Yeah, steady-ish. The
Yeah.
stock market is steady-ish. We'll call it that. Not really doing much. The Fed, Powell, came out and said, I'm not in no hurry to lower interest rates again, not for a little while. So that's not really great news. DuPont had some good news, so they're up about 7% today. They've been okay lately. Intel had some positive things to say about their AI chips, so they're up about 10%, 2180. I mean, they only got 100% to go before they hit a new high, so they're a long ways off. Coca-Cola had their earnings. They were decent. They're up a couple bucks. They're doing better than other food stocks for sure. ConAgra hit a new low. Borg-Warner hit a new low. Merck hit a new low again. Moderna hit a new low, so they're all suffering. Tesla's getting beat up a little bit today, about 15 points, so 335. Not like they're giving it away yet, but they're getting cheaper. Yeah, that's what's going on. So anyway, here's your numbers. March corn is 495 3/4, up 4 1/4. The September corn 476 1/2, up 3 3/4. March soybeans 1055 1/4, up 5 3/4. September soybeans 1064, up 6 3/4. The March wheat is 586 3/4, up 7 1/4, and September wheat 623 1/2, up 5 3/4. So energy is mostly higher today, I guess. The crude oil is 73.21, up 89 cents. Heating oil 250.41, up 5.3 cents. Gasoline is 214.48, up 4 cents. And natural gas 355, up 10 3/4 cents. Over to currencies, Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar buys $1.4307 Canadian. That's down by 8 ticks. The dollar buys 152.26 yen. That's up by 26 ticks. The euro's at 103.47, up 41 ticks. And the dollar's at 108.02, down 29 ticks. Gold is at $29.3290, down $1.50. Silver's $32.49, down 15 cents. Platinum's $10.2980, up $3, and copper's at $457.95, down 12 3/4 cents.
All right, Doug, thank you very much. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
That sounds good.
Doug Klein with Oppenheimer. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll check in with Jerry Samolsky over at Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at the Rummel Agency, because, they understand the risks that you have as a Michigan farmer and an agribusiness owner. Now, they know that every farm needs, they vary like the crops in the fields. They know also that you are more than a number. They want to have a conversation with you. They want to get to know you. They want to get to know your family, your goals, and dreams for the future, and how important these things are to you. One-on-one, that's what it's all about, to get the right farm insurance protection for you and your family. See them today. Give them a call. Frankenmuth, Saginaw, and Caro, the Rummel Insurance Agency.
Farm Service Today brought to you by Freeland Bean and Grain. They're your Dairyland seed dealer, carrying a full line of corn and Enlist soybean seed, proven weed control designed to get you a better harvest. Right now, a good supply across all Dairyland seed varieties, including the new Vorseed and PowerCore Enlist traded corn hybrids. Contact Justin Varner for more information. Dairyland Seed, they've got seed with your name on it from your friends at Freeland Bean and Grain. Since 1983, where serving you is their business. Over to Jerry Samolsky at Bay Landscaping and Garden Center we go. Jerry, doing much landscaping these days?
No, but we're looking at pruning, and pruning is just, we keep talking about pruning. And so today and this week, I thought we'd talk a little bit more about why you prune. So pruning trees is really, really important. Even though it's got a nice shape and whatnot, thinning is important because those branches eventually die anyway. And at some point when a tree's, the diameter of the tree is bigger than your arm or bigger than your thigh, at some point it gets kind of big, and maybe they call it pro to do that. But all those branches that fall off all the time in those little windstorms, there's two reasons. One, they're interior dead branches, which you should be trimming out. And number two, it's a weak and poorly connected branch. So again, proper pruning prevents all that. And then that way you end up with, people cut down perfectly good trees because they're tired of everything dropping all the time. Well, if you prune it as you went along, it wouldn't drop that stuff in the windstorms and the ice storms and whatnot, or at least much lesser chance in what does drop would be greatly reduced. So that's the main reason it's important to trim is for health. And again, those annoyance factors that people have with trees and those branches.
You must be in on whatever the Facebook algorithm has for me, because over the last 2 days, I've seen probably close to a dozen posts about pruning and where to prune and when to prune and what to prune. How do you know what needs to be cut off and what needs to stay?
It's the art and the science. It's both. So after time and learning, you'll get that. But basically, the lower branches up, there is a place to cut every branch, and it has to do with the branch coverage, barkage. We'll keep the listeners advised, but I think March 22nd, we're doing another pruning seminar that will help you understand that. And again, understand when you've got a tree that's 60 feet tall, you shouldn't be pruning it. Leave that to the professionals. I think it's very dangerous to get up at a tree and then start a chainsaw. That's just kind of craziness. So leave it to the pros, and they'll take care of that. But something that's, 15, 18, 20, 25 feet tall, those are the ones that we can get into, that the homeowners can get into, do it by themselves. But at least if you know what needs to be done, you can seek out help by a professional to get it done, instead of letting the tree grow, and 10, 15 years later, when it's starting to do exactly what you want it to, it starts splitting apart and falling apart and having problems. That's not where you want to be.
All right, Jerry, thank you very much. We'll look forward to hearing more. You have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Jerry Samolsky with Bay Landscaping and Garden Center. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, a report from Michigan Ag Today's CJ Miller about artificial intelligence and how it's being applied to farming.
Experience the most reliable RTK signal from PC Ag Solutions, compatible with most GPS receivers. Trade in your old radio or modem and get an affordable subscription through us. We have over 25 base station locations across the Lower Peninsula, and we're always looking to add more to our network. Discover more power, more accuracy, and more coverage with our 450 megahertz signal. Call us to learn more today. PC Ag Solutions, 989-868-4444. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Kryjak's House Family Restaurant. If you've got to supply the food for an event coming up, and there's a lot of them I know, and you've got to supply the food, here's the number, 989-894-5531. one. You give them a call, tell them what you want. They'll prepare it, have it ready for you, take it back to your event, and you will be a hero at your event. Krijak's House, also a great place to dine in. Corner of Cass in Michigan on Bay City's south side.
Just a little thing to mention. We talked with Melinda Sweeney earlier, and she mentioned that soybean oil was up slightly. It's battling its way around. Same with soybean meal. I've just been watching a feed that updates every couple of minutes or so, and they're hovering right around that unchanged mark, but it's interesting to see them go up and down as the markets tend to do as they progress. But if you're ever bored, I don't know. It's just kind of fun to watch the numbers as they move. Enough of that. Let's head over to Michigan Ag Today's CJ Miller. He has this report on artificial intelligence uses in farming.
$375,000 in oversubscribed funding is how much money a new company based out of Vincennes, Indiana has raised to expand their operations and further connect AI with the ag industry.
Without AI, this wouldn't really be possible.
And that's Mike Jacob, the founder and CEO of TerraForest. His company has developed a robotic harvester that uses AI to identify whether watermelons and pumpkins are ripe and ready for harvesting. Then the AI technology is used to carefully pick the fruits with very little human oversight.
We're solving farmers' most severe problem in melon production, and that's labor. Labor's hard to get, labor's expensive, and it was the conversations with growers before this company even existed that really brought it into existence and got it off the ground.
Jacob says the AI and robotic technology can also be used for more than just harvesting.
The other cool thing we can do with the machine in its current configuration is we can conceivably plan out the live plants at the beginning of the season. Right now, that's pretty labor intensive. It's done by hand, but we can use these same robotic arms with different end effectors to grasp the plant and plant it into the ground.
Jacob says that TerraForest could have a significant impact on the U.S. watermelon and pumpkin industries.
One of the things it's going to do is it's going to make U.S. fruit more competitive with import fruit. If you look at the import trends for melons over the past 10, 20 years, all the growth has been captured by imports. Domestic production is flat to slightly down. That's because we couldn't compete on price until now.
He says they can reduce labor expenses by $690 an acre. He adds that TerraForest is also working on using AI to develop harvesters for other specialty crops, such as tomatoes, lettuce, and cucumbers.
Some of the recent developments that have enabled this are the use of deployable AI, edge AI, that we can have out in the field without an internet connection, determining what's a watermelon, what's not a watermelon, what's ripe, what's not ripe, and how should the robot travel to get to the melon and get it back up into the machine.
It's interesting to hear about the uses of AI, especially when it comes to specialty crops, which may not have a huge impact when you look at the overall markets individually, but as a whole, they are very labor intensive and definitely something that might be applicable for cutting down on the need for so much of that labor. Of course, putting my tinfoil hat on for just a second, putting the robot overlords in charge of the food supply is probably not the best idea. But okay, no. Take the tinfoil hat off. We're going to head on over to Teresa DeBow at Baird & Company now, find out what's going on in New York. Teresa, good morning.
Good morning. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 26 points at 44,494, 290 million shares traded. NASDAQ is down 53 points at 19,660, 582 million shares traded there. Some stocks of local interest include Caterpillar at 363.60, up 38. Deere, 474.90, up 492. CMS Energy 68.61, down 57. Dow 38.64, up 7. DuPont 81.62, up 5.36. Corteva 63 on the nose, up 78. General Motors 46.35, down 22. Trinzio 472, up 30. Walmart 102.07, down 85. Huntington Bank 1676, up 3. Independent Bank 36.31, up 29. And AT&T at 25.08, up 22.
All right, Teresa, thank you very much. We'll check in with you again on Thursday.
Sounds great. Take care.
You too. Teresa DeBow with Baird & Company. We'll be right back and take another look at that weather.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50.
Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Quality Roasting of Reese, purchasing local soybeans, processing the local beans, and marketing local Exceller meal, which is a high bypass soybean meal for your dairy herd. They've been doing that since 1991. Quality Roasting of Reese, offering competitive, consistent prices for your soybeans. Give them a call for a quote today.
In the time since we've started our broadcast here this morning, the snow showers and flurries have petered out here at Radio Center, but we are expecting a larger round of snow tomorrow. 24 our high for today, 10 degrees our low overnight tonight. Snow beginning between 1 and 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. We're expecting accumulations between 6 and 8 inches. Some forecasters saying up to 10 inches, and that snow lasting early into Thursday morning. The winter storm watch stays in effect until 7 o'clock Thursday morning. But as we move through the day on Thursday, some clouds clearing out, and that will lead to a very cold Thursday night with a low of 7, I believe. Let me make sure. Yes. And with that wind out of the northwest, it will feel like 5 below zero, or as cold as 5 below zero as we move into Friday morning. The next chance of snowfall once again comes late Friday and into Saturday. Now, we are expecting most of that to be overnight on Friday, but it does last all through the day on Saturday. Let me reverse that. Most of it will be during the day on Saturday, lighter stuff during the night on Friday, and then petering out by the time we get into Sunday morning, temperatures into the low 20s and just staying cloudy all the way through. We'll be back at 12:30 with an update, but for now we conclude our program with the playing of our national anthem, brought to you by Euclid Avenue Coins in Bay City.
Broadcasting from the Stormmaster Exterior Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan, former Trump strategist